the stage in your LIHTC journey where you've had the initial discussions with your community's leaders that Brian spoke about in his First Steps video. The community response was favorable, and now you're trying to decide whether to use LIHTC to rehabilitate existing homes or construct new homes. In this video, I'll be focusing on things to know when considering a rehab project. If you want to focus on new construction, be sure to watch our video featuring my colleague, Emily Sedlick. To ensure a smoother rehab project, we recommend conscious forethought of 5 factors, which conveniently spell rehab, R-E-H-A-B. First, residents. The tax credit program is for residents at or below 60% of area median income, or AMI. Note, this is a stricter income standard than NAHASDA's 80% AMI threshold. It is therefore best to review your rent rolls and choose units for the project with households that already qualify for the tax credit program. In addition to income considerations, also be sure to select units with tenants who have a good track record of complying with their leases. Tenants in good standing who are current on their rent and take care of their units will likely do the same when their unit is fully renovated. Please note that it is extremely difficult to change units that are part of the project once they are selected and included as part of your tax credit application. Additionally, it's best to have an advanced plan for relocating tenants during construction. We've had clients move tenants to other vacant units, or in with family members, or even to nearby hotels. It is also possible to include temporary trailers or mobile homes paid by your contractor. Whatever relocation path you plan for, be sure to budget accordingly for relocation costs and comply with all applicable provisions of the Uniform Relocation Act for temporary and, if it comes to it, permanent relocation of residents. Please note that relocation expenses are eligible tax credit expenses. Second, the E is for environmental requirements. The LIHTC investor will require a Phase 1 Environmental Site Assessment, ESA, with additional testing for mold, asbestos, lead-based paint, and lead in drinking water. If your units are old enough to have asbestos or lead-based paint concerns, or if moisture issues have been a recurring problem for your units, then it's likely that the Phase 1 will recommend additional testing and remediation. Even in instances where the units are not old enough for testing to be required, we recommend consulting with your environmental professional to verify with the tribe's environmental department or the state to confirm whether they require pre-demo asbestos surveys on buildings constructed after 1993. Asbestos-containing materials should be managed and/or remediated during the rehab process with guidance from your environmental professional. Knowing the full extent of required abatement and remediation costs will prevent any surprises and unplanned increases in the project budget. These costs are also eligible tax credit expenses. Third, we have H for how old. Under what's called the 10-year rule, the units must be at least 10 years old, or 10 years must have elapsed since they were last substantially rehabilitated. Regular maintenance and repair on a unit will not disqualify it from a LIHTC project. Rather, substantial rehabilitation is generally equated with issuing a new certificate of occupancy. Next, A is for architecture and design. Completing full construction plans and specifications for rehab projects can be just as costly and time-consuming as for new construction projects. You can save time and money by choosing units for which you already have existing plans. Minimizing the number of different floor plans can also save on design costs. Please note that all LIHTC investors will require full construction plans and specifications that are prepared by a licensed architect for your rehab project. Another thing to consider is that existing units, or at least a portion of the units that you include in the project, may need to be retrofitted to meet applicable fair housing accessibility guidelines and any other universal design or accessibility commitments you make in the application. It is therefore crucial to consult with your architect ahead of time on what guidelines apply and to find cost-effective strategies for meeting those guidelines with your existing units. Those modifications will be drawn and specified in the construction documents. Finally, B stands for bearings. You should choose a location over which you presently have site control and can easily obtain the leases demonstrating that site control. This means the property is leased to you if it is trust land or deeded to you if it is fee land. Also, for simplicity's sake, it's best to have all units concentrated in one area and to have the status of the land, whether it's trust or fee simple, consistent across all units. Maximizing points under your state's QAP for proximity to amenities and services will also play a role in what units you select. A successful rehab project starts in the planning stage, so making informed decisions about these 5 considerations: residents targeted, environmental requirements, how old the units are, architecture and design commitments, and bearings will help you choose the best units to rehab in your LIHTC project. Contact us with any questions. I'd be happy to discuss your housing needs and plans with you.